Hello and welcome to Gupton Stadium. I'm Jeff Jones, and as you can see, I'm joined by the rest of the KVUE Sports team, Tyler Feldman, Corey Mose. Now we're here at Gupton because this is where high school football games take place on Thursdays and Fridays. But on Saturdays, well, this week, that means one of the most anticipated games on the Longhorns football schedule. Texas travels to face Alabama. It is a top 11 matchup, the biggest matchup in the nation, and we're breaking it down for you. Tyler, let's start off with this question. What has to go right for the Longhorns? What must happen for UT to pull off this win?
Three things. The defense has to play like the defense knows it can play, and we've seen that out of this Texas defense. I'm not really concerned with the defense. I am a little bit worrisome about the offense. How will that offensive line fare? They talked about that lack of communication at home against Rice. Well, it's going to be a lot tougher in Tuscaloosa against an Alabama team with that rabid fan base. So they have to figure out the communication and that pass protection for Quinn Ewers. And then with Quinn Ewers, will we see the deep ball? We haven't yet seen that explosive play out of Quinn. If we get second half Quinn like we saw against Rice for a full game against Alabama, that is good news for Texas. But if we get first half Quinn for part of the game against Alabama, the Crimson Tide, that's a team that will make Texas pay. So Quinn, we've got to see a little bit more consistency out of that deep ball.
Second half Quinn, I think, was aided by some very good play calls that played to his strength. Corey, same question for you. What has to go right for Texas to win this Saturday?
I think the biggest thing will have to be their secondary, proving why they're so deep. They kind of showed it in the game against Rice. True freshman Malik Muhammad balled out. Terrence Brooks showed why he was honestly coming into this year one of the best corners on the team after his performance in the Alamo Bowl last year. And so with Alabama not having the John Mechie's of the world or the Devontae Smiths of the world at the wide receiver position, you would assume that Texas's secondary can be able to hold Alabama's wide receivers, especially man-to-man.
Yep, for me, I think what has to go right for the Longhorns is their run defense has to play as well as we think they can. For Alabama, they opened the season against Middle Tennessee State, only had 1.7 yards per carry before contact. I expect that number to be cut in half against the Longhorns, and if so, that is a very, very good sign. Now that we've told you exactly what must happen for Texas to have a chance to pull off this upset, it's time for us to give you some 100% completely accurate score predictions. Tyler, who's going to win this game? What's the score going to be?
I think it's going to be a very tough battle for Texas. We'll learn a lot about the Longhorns. Steve Sarkisian talked about that throughout this week, how much he'll learn about his team in a tough road battle against one of the best teams in the country, that's Alabama. I just don't see how all those communication problems that offensive line had at home against Rice, how do you fix that for an environment in Tuscaloosa? That's going to be a challenge. I see Texas falling 24-14. Right now, Vegas has the Crimson Tide favored by a touchdown. The over-under is 54. I'm taking the under for sure. I just don't know that I've seen enough from Texas to pick them to pull off the upset on the road, despite the fact that that Texas defense has experience.
A 2-score loss for Texas. Okay, interesting. Yeah. Corey, talk some logic into him. What's the score going to be? Who's going to win this thing?
Well, I actually agree with a lot of stuff that Tyler's saying.
Oh, my goodness.
With Texas defense being so strong, also the under, but I do have a different winner, and that's going to be Texas in my mind. 24-21. I think the secondary is going to prove why they're one of the strong suits of this team, and they're going to force Jalen Milroe to pass the ball, and I assume that a turnover late in this game, interception, will be the final straw for Texas's win.
I like everything you said about the defense, and that's why I think Texas will win this game as well. I think the only thing that can really derail them is if Jalen Milroe uses his legs. If he does something like rushes for 65, 70 yards in this game, it could be a long day for Texas. But I don't think he does that, so I have the Longhorns winning this one 24-20. You've heard our predictions. Feel free to reach out to us on social media. Let us know your predictions. We can't wait to catch you up with all the highlights and reaction right here on KVUE.